Welcome, everyone, to another full edition of the Narrative Podcast, and I'm your host, Halsey Allen. Welcome all my narrators. I hope everyone listening today had a great weekday and is off to having or have had, by the time I share this back out on social media, a great weekend. I'm doing great. Everything's great with me. Hope everything's great with you. Or excuse me, trying to take hope out of my vocabulary. I know everything's great with you because you're in my audience, listening audience, the Narrative Podcast. All right. So welcome all my narrators. Welcome anyone new that may be just now tuning in to this broadcast. Welcome everybody. So it's the Narrative Podcast, home of original people positivity, reciprocity, and upliftment, empowerment, and enlightenment. My narrators already know the demonstration, but if you're new to my content, I just give you a brief walkthrough about what it is I do here and what I'm trying to accomplish in this space that I'm in. So first and foremost, let's start at the top, the Narrative Podcast. I've named it the Narrative Podcast because I feel, the media flips the narrative on original people and original culture. They weave a false narrative about original people and original culture by pushing stereotypes and focusing all the negative things within our culture and negative nuances about our people. So, I wanted to create a platform where I'm celebrating our successes and highlighting all of our accomplishments, thus destroying the negative stereotypes that they, perpetuate and generate. They do this intentionally. They do it to, sell news and also to warp the minds of the people because they don't give the people, when I say the people, I mean people outside of our culture. They don't give anything, the people anything about our culture but negativity. So that's all the frames of references that they have about our people is just what they're shown, what the media chooses to show about us, not what is actually us. So they basically misrepresent us intentionally, like I said, to sell news and to also, keep a socio-economic stronghold over all the resources. And keep excluding us out of financial wealth, basically to keep dominant society in power and us out. So they use these negative stereotypes to basically, promote and push agendas on the people. So, that's what I wanted to do is just basically flip the narrative on that by showcasing and highlighting us about who we really are as a people and all the accomplishments that we bring to the table and, to prove we are the antithesis of what's being shown about us. Now, understand and mind you, it's not my goal and intention to care what people outside of our culture thinks about us, as we shouldn't. I don't feel it's my job to enlighten them, but I just feel, it's all of our jobs to, put out an accurate perception about who we are, put out accurate, actual, factual facts about us, rather than keep on circulating and generating lies about us, basically. That's why I call my target audience my narrators. I feel we all are content creators to some small capacity. Uh, we all have the power to change the narrative about how our people is being perceived by people outside of our culture, simply by the content we post online. Because these days, whatever you post online is a representation of you. That's like your carbon footprint these days. That's what people associate your beliefs and value systems with by the content that you're posting online. So just imagine, if we're always posting gang culture, drug culture, rape culture, uh, pimp culture, horror culture, thought culture, gun culture, whatever. Anything that's not righteous, anything that's not just, anything that doesn't portray us as, kings and queens, gods and goddesses that we're posting online, that's the perception of that people outside of our culture are going to, associate us with. So, it's up to all of us to post positive content, and that's the ultimate takeaway. I want people to listen to my podcast to get how important it is for us to post positive content about us, to use our platforms wisely, and post positive content about our people and our culture. As a matter of fact, my tagline is the Narrative Podcast, changing the narrative one episode at a time by destroying negative stereotypes about original people and original culture. So I think you got a gist of what my podcast is about. Now, I know you heard me say the word original a lot. So here's my ideology about the original and the power of words in general. I'll start there. So like words are, living particles. Like words are alive. They bend and shape reality. And, basically whatever you speak, once you release it out of your mouth, it becomes reality. And the powers that be know this. When they constructed the English language, they flipped the narrative to have black mean something negative. Because in our, original literature, tongues and dialects of our speech, black meant something good. But the powers that be, they corrupted it. They colonized our culture and they made it be something bad. If you go into any dictionary or thesaurus and look up the word black, you will see all these, negative connotations surrounding the word black. All these negative nouns, pronouns, adjectives, verbs, and such, describing the word black in a negative manner, example sentences describing the word black in a negative manner. And before you get to all those negative examples, they go out of their way to denote, origin, because that started off black people descending, Aboriginal people descending from Africa. And then they'll start going down the list, using the word black, associating the word black with things like depression, black dirty, black desolate, just anything negative you can think about. Black is the word black is associated with also like death and destruction and decay. So we're anything but that. Black also symbolizes the end of all things. So on my platform, what I decide to do is refer to our people as much as possible as original people. I think, the word original is a better term suited to describe our people. When you look in the same dictionary, there's nothing negative about the word original. Original is basically like the first. It symbolizes the first, and in many cases, the best. Um, Nothing beats the original. Everything pales in comparison to the original. The original copy is the best copy. When you purchase something, you want the original receipt for the bill of sales because the original holds up in court. Um, Nothing trumps original. So in terms of our people, I think, we're better suited to be referred to as original, as we were and are the original men and the original women of this planet. We was the first here. We were on pretty much every corner of the globe first. Um, and we originated every modern convenience you can think of. Everything in the world today, we originated it. We originated written and spoken language. We originated the alphabet. We originated science. We originated mathematics. We originated alchemy. We originated, uh, you know, education. We had the first colleges. We basically mothered and fathered the entire civilization. So nothing is better, nothing is more positive than the word original. So that's what I believe we should refer to ourselves often as possible as the original man and the original woman, because it's actual, factual, true. And, like I said, the power of words, when you release that over yourself. So in essence, what I'm saying is like the way they have the English language structured and set up, basically calling yourself is like black is like a death sentence. Because if you look at our people here in America and abroad, we're calling ourselves black, and you're looking at our condition that we're living in. This is like a very small handful of us, living good lives. But I digress. But that's just my methodology for referring to ourselves as original people, as original men and original women on my platform. So I do that as often as possible. Now, about the content on my platform. So how do I change the narrative on the Narrative Podcast? Basically, I provide positive frames of reference about original people and original culture. My podcast is divided up into sections. Each section has a speaking point, and in each section, I'll be giving positive frames of reference about original people and original culture. I describe, each section as I come to them and what I'm going to be talking about in each section. Also, I have, set a time limit for myself when I started my platform. I try not to exceed 1 hour. When I first started podcasting, I used to just talk. I didn't have any speaking points. I didn't really know, what I wanted to talk about, what I want to focus on my podcast. I would just, basically just talk. So one day I decided to refine my content, and the instant I did that, I noticed my numbers went up. So that's why I, divvied the content up into sections, and gave myself a time limit to speak. So I'm not just bouncing from subject to subject. I have a clear starting and stopping point, and I'm just not talking in circles. I got like an actual point. Everything got a nice cohesive feel to it. And, it breaks the content up, makes it more relatable and digestible and more easy to listen to. And have you anticipating, my next broadcast, which is ultimately all podcasters' goals. So yeah, I'm going to dive into the content, but before I do that, I just want to make a quick disclaimer. First off, this is a monetized platform. So, when I share this back out, you might experience ads. I don't know when they're going to do the ads. I'm recording right now, so I don't know like when they're going to place the ads, during this broadcast. I don't know when and where they'll occur or even what they're about until after I finish recording. So they might do it in mid-speech, but don't stop listening. Keep listening to the end. And then also, ask you one small thing to download this episode, which I believe is episode 180. I believe this is episode 80, and all previously recorded episodes of the Narrative Podcast to, help keep my platform going and growing, getting bigger. Because with the monetization and the algorithm and all that, that's the fuel that keeps the vehicle running. But anyway, diving into the content. In commemoration with Black History Month, I'm starting off with some Black History facts and then into my normal content. All right, so this Black History facts. We live in a highly technologically advanced world now. But we can't do anything without a phone. You can't. You actually need a cell phone to function in today's modern world. It has to be a smartphone at that. Like flip phones ain't going to cut it. I mean, they're good for emergencies, but if you need to access information, if you need to watch an instructional video, you're going to need like a smartphone. But, even before smartphones were invented, like somebody had the gumption to know you need to be able to speak on the phone if you're away from the house. You need to be able to speak on the telephone if you wasn't in a motorized vehicle. Because they've always had, car phones too. They had the car phone before they had, a mobile phone. But anyway, today's Black History fact is the inventor of the cellular phone. And this was an original man by the name of Jesse Russell. He invented the first cellular phone in 1988 in Bell Labs. Russell holds bachelor's in science and electrical engineering from Tennessee State University. He was the first HBCU grad to get hired directly by AT&T and Bell. He got a master's from Stanford University. He's now the CEO of INCN Networks, INCN Networks, Inc. Networks. I don't know, but that's what he's the CEO of. In 1995, he was inducted into the National Academy of Engineering. So that's my first Black History fact. And I got another one. Does anybody know, the origins of the snack? It's usually paired with fish. Hush puppies. You know how that originated? It originated through slave times. Runaway slaves would carry like cornmeal and mix it up and forming into balls. They would drop the balls down to have to silence the bloodhounds so the bloodhounds wouldn't give away their location. They would drop them, and according to legend, they were just like hush puppy. That's how, hush puppies came to be. That's what their original intended use came from to be. I don't know how how the deep frying and oil and all that came about, but originally that's what they was used for, to, stop the bloodhounds from barking and giving away their location. All right, so moving right along on to my very first section of the Narrative Podcast. This section is called the promo section, and in this section, what I'm doing is offering original people owned and operated businesses the opportunity to receive free promotion for the business, product, or service by reaching out to me, Halsey Allen, at passionwebmail@poeticpassion.host, and in the subject bar, type promo. Body of the email, tell me a little bit about yourself, business, product, or service, and I will gladly plug it for free, 110% free on my platform. And my reasoning behind doing that is for me to, help do my part to help circulate the original people dollar within the original people community. So, help, expand your business, and, I'm anticipating to attract companies that do some type of community outreach, take care of the communities that they're rooted in, so they'll help expand their businesses, hire more of their own, train more of their own, give more of their own, franchise opportunities if, franchise opportunities exist, and thus, leaving something for future generations. While we are due reparations, it's up to all of us to take care of all of us. So we got to support one another. And that's the purpose of the promo section. All right, moving right along on to my next section. This section is called the contest section. And in this section, what I'm doing is basically incentivizing day one listeners as well as new listeners to keep, patronizing my content and just giving them the incentive to keep on listening to me by offering a prize. And the prize that I'm currently offering right now is a bulk supply of your favorite snack. And I'm giving away a bulk supply of your favorite snack just by simply for participating in the contest topic. And the contest topic is share your most recent shopping while black experience. So to enter the contest, I'm not charging any money. Entry is totally free. All you have to do is hit me up at the exact same email address that I gave for the promotion for the business owners. The way I'm separating the two is through the subject bars. So to enter the contest for the, for the incentive contest is just to hit me up at passionwebmail@poeticpassion.host, and in the subject bar type chew on this / shopping while black, and in the body of the email make sure you include, of course, your most recent shopping while black experience, along with your mailing address so I know where to send your snack. And then, of course, tell me what type of snack you want. So again, to enter the contest, hit me up at passionwebmail@poeticpassion.host / shopping while black. If you don't even want to type the whole word shopping while black, you can type in SWB in all caps. And then, body of the email includes your most recent shopping while black experience. your mailing address, and then what type of snack you want. And the only thing I'm asking is when you're sharing your most recent Shopping While Black experience, please keep it as brief as possible. Just give me the highlights of the experience. I don't want to read a novel, so try to not have it exceed 6 paragraphs. Yeah, so that's it. And now on to my very first section, which is like the actual start of my podcast, is the highlight section. In the highlight section, what I'm doing here is highlighting businesses owned and operated by original people. And the purpose of me doing that is to provide the positive frame of reference about entrepreneurialism. So I'm changing the narrative, about how we're being seen by providing positive frame of reference about entrepreneurialism, because the media is always portraying us as, disenfranchised and downtrodden and, can't do for self or have no desire to want to do for self. So the types of businesses that I usually highlight in the highlight section are brothers and sisters that was like comfortably working a 9-to-5 job. And then one day they just decided to pursue their passion, stepped out on faith. They didn't have, a lot of education or expertise in the field that they went in to start their business. Or if they did have an extensive amount of, training, scholastic training and, expertise, it didn't necessarily line up with the product that they're selling right now. But to no avail, they found a way to make it work. They stepped out on faith, believed in their dreams, and, pursued their passion. So other qualifying factors that I'm looking for to cover businesses is, of course, they're originally owned and operated. They hire their own. They do some type of community outreach or activism, take care of the community that they're rooted in. And they either have their own nonprofit organization or pay into one. And the last qualifying factor that I'm looking for is they align up perfectly with my theme. And this month's theme is, Valentine's Day. So I'll be doing my next few broadcasts about the month of Valentine's Day. Things you would need to get ready for a Valentine's Day. Now, mind you, I always talk about the power of words, and I also, I'm really against celebrating, things that we've been indoctrinated into, because Valentine's Day is a manufactured holiday, manufactured by the greeting card companies, and it has pagan roots. So I don't stamp that on my platform. But I know many, many, many of us, I'm also trying to be as non-biased and as non-judgmental as possible. But I know many, many of us, have significant others, whether we're dating or, married or in a relationship, go out on Valentine's Day. So if you're going to go out on Valentine's Day, at least be, patronizing from your own. Buy from your own is like my overall takeaway I want from this particular topic. So you're going to do it anyway. You might as well, patronize your own. So like I said, Valentine's Day, one of the first things to come to your mind on Valentine's Day is the candy. You gotta come proper, you gotta have candy, you gotta have flowers, and then go out to dinner. Or if, you're planning a nice evening in. But I decided this week to focus on the candy, and the candy that's mostly associated with Valentine's Day is chocolate. So I will be highlighting chocolate companies owned and operated by original men and women. So my first company I will be highlighting in the highlight section is My Chocolate Soul, and the proprietor's name is one Mr. or one Mrs. excuse me, Roma Thomas, and it was established in 2011. Her website is mychocolatesoul.com. She began working in education and philanthropy for 18 years. She has she's a trained mathematician with a PhD. She started her own business because she just wanted to purchase a natural product with ingredients. She likes chocolate. She enjoys chocolate. And the thing that bothered her, being that she has a culinary background, is there wasn't enough products. I guess I did skip that part of her training. She is classically trained chocolatier. She went to a culinary school to learn how to make chocolate. But what bothered her is there wasn't a plethora of chocolates out there that just had natural ingredients that was all laced with additives and preservatives and whatnot. So she wanted to, create a pure product with just basically just the key components of chocolate. That was her reasoning behind it. And then, of course, she is an original woman, so of course she hires her own and trains her own and gives them franchise opportunities. So like I said, the website is mychocolatesoul.com. Physical address is 442 North Broadway, Chicago, Illinois, 60640. Telephone number 773, 234-7141. And if you want to know more, she has information at My Chocolate Soul. So let's give a warm round of applause, Narrative Podcast, warm round of applause for My Chocolate Soul and Sister Roma Thomas. Actually, that was the second one. I went out of sequence. I didn't have my notes together, but anyway, it doesn't matter. On to it was actually my first, but next one. Next business. Yeah. That's what happened. Okay. Next business. Excuse me, y'all. Taking this big long pause. Philip Ashley Chocolates, excuse me, and that's in by Philip Ashley Ricks. This is a brother. Established in 2012 at phillipsashleychocolates.com. Physical address 1200 Madison Avenue, Tennessee 31004. Telephone number 901-572-1011. So basically, Mr. Ricks was born and raised in Tennessee. He had multiple jobs. Started at FedEx. Eventually, ended up his last job was Apple. Then one day he just had an epiphany. He wanted to just start a business. I couldn't find any articles to support why he chose chocolate out of all the businesses, but he decided he wanted to make some chocolate. He doesn't have any culinary training, so no culinary background to begin with. He just started. He got all of his source material, from the internet, instructional videos. Learning the art of making chocolate. Later on, after he got his business up and running, he later on got the classical training, but to start, he didn't have any, knowledge of chocolate. His philosophy is, helping the community. That's his business module, helping out as many companies, networking, reaching out and networking with other small businesses, advertising other small businesses other than himself. And he also has the spirit of giving. He's given out to organizations such as Out Memphis, Memphis Black Arts Alliance, and St. Jude Hospital. So give a warm Narrative Podcast round of applause to Philip Ashley Ricks and I forgot the name of the company that quick. Philip Ashley Chocolates. And I think I got one more for you guys. All right. My very last chocolate company comes to you from a miss. Please bear with me because this sister is Haitian. So if I mispronounce it, sorry. Karini Johini Sonia. But her business is called Ask Ayana Chocolates. And basically, her story is very noble. She basically found a chocolate company to take care of her native land, Haiti. She's in the northern part of Haiti. So that's what all her profits go to, is growing factories out in Haiti, simply to give people employment. So they have jobs by taking advantage of like their top selling crops in Haiti, which is the cacao pods. That's where, a large portion of the world's chocolate comes from, is Haiti. They have an overabundance of cacao pods in Haiti. So basically, she came over to the States. She was born and raised in the northern part of Haiti. She came to the States when she was in high school. She earned herself an industrial a degree in industrial engineering, and also an MBA in business. Before she started her business, she was making a six-figure salary working for a Fortune 500 company. So she was like a millionaire way before 30. Like in her early 20s, she was a millionaire several times over. And like, that was her mission when she came to America. Her business module, she wasn't going to, pay into charities. She said she wanted to create jobs. She didn't want to be, a philanthropist. She didn't want to, do all these, charitable events. Like charity starts at home. She was practical with it and intentional with it. So she wanted to, create jobs in businesses for, her Haitian brethren and sisters over in Haiti. And that's, like where all the profit goes to helping Haitian farmers as well. And, her packaging is like, on the product. She really specializes in bars, but I'm sure, everybody got Valentine's Day's specials. So I'm pretty sure she got a Valentine's Day's box if you go to the website. But yeah, definitely go support Ask Yana. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you the address. AskYana.nt is the site. Excuse me. Support Ask Yana and Corinne, Sister Sonia. Like, it's very hard to pronounce. It's Haitian names, but forgive me about that. But definitely go support the brand, Ask Yana. And we're going to give a Warm Narrative podcast up for her and her company. And that'll do it for that section of the Narrative Podcast. And on to my next section. This section is called the Spotlight section. And in this section, what I'm doing is I'm spotlighting a prominent figure within our community. It's usually in the entertainment industry. So I spotlight people in the entertainment industry. I've spotlighted people, religious figures and leaders as well. But mostly in the entertainment industry, and mostly just somebody with a public platform, a polarizing public platform. But, anyone in the entertainment industry, ranging from the genres of acting, like actor, actress, comedian, models, recording artists, athletes, like I said already, religious figures, public figures, writers, producers, just anybody that has a public, a large following or a public platform that speaks on the cause publicly and apologetically, gives back to some capacity, does some type of activism, does some type of humanitarian work, donates, give back, does some type of outreach for our cause, or just the way they carry and conduct themselves to be, when you look at them, you get a positive, reflection of us. Like, they make us look good, the way they carry and conduct themselves. Those are the people I spotlight on the Spotlight section. And what I'm trying to do with the Spotlight section is basically, or what I have done with the Spotlight section is, creating the atmosphere, creating a healthy habit of us just basically saying something nice about our brothers and sisters, celebrating our accomplishments instead of dragging each other, gossiping each other, putting each other down, and talking bad about each other online. That's what I'm doing with the Spotlight section. Applauding our efforts and, morally supporting, each other in all of our endeavors. That's the wave I created with the Spotlight section. And not for nothing, yes, I did create the wave for spotlighting. Because before I added the Spotlight section on my podcast, the Narrative Podcast, nobody on the internet, YouTube, anywhere was spotlighting anyone. But now, every time you pull out your device, every time you click on the internet, today's spotlight is on this person, that person, blase. Nobody was spotlighting nothing until I added the Spotlight section to my podcast. And you can go through my episode log and fact check, and you'll probably see that I'm right. You should see. So, yeah. So, round of applause for myself, Halsey Allen with the Narrative Podcast.
You are now listening to the Narrative Podcast with Halsey Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a time.
You better know it. All right. So, today's spotlight is none other than the very talented, very vivacious, very outspoken one, Mrs. Gabrielle Union. So in addition to being married to a famous basketball player, Miss Gabrielle, she was born Gabrielle Monique Union, October 29th, 1972 in Omaha, Nebraska. She had many turns and twists. I'm not going to go all down her, educational background and all that. I'm just trying to, give you the streamlined version of her life story. I'm just basically going to tell you what I admire about her as a sister. So she had she paid her dues, followed her dreams, moved to New York to become an actress, had a very, tumultuous ups and downs. She, at one point in time in her life, she got raped at gunpoint while working part-time at a department store. But, she basically got her big start, as we all know it, in the 2000 movie Bring It On. She had like a couple roles before then, but the thing that put her on the map was Bring It On. She's been in several music videos. She's been in several commercials, ads, endorsements, daytime television. She's made her rounds as an actress and established herself as a whole entity in Hollywood. But one thing I admire about the sister is she's always speaking for the cause. Right now she's kind of having this little back and forth thing with a rapper. But, I don't engage in, dabble in anything negative. I'm just praising her for all the positive things she's doing and got going on in her life right now. She has become easily a symbol for natural beauty in our society. And she's truthful about whatever she got going on in her life. She's 110% transparent. She don't lie and put on airs, at least from my perspective, what I've been seeing in interviews. She tells all the gritty about her personalities, flaws and all. But so she's very, of course, aesthetically beautiful, but she's beautiful on the inside as well. She got a really loving, nurturing spirit to herself. And, she's very truthful. She speaks on the cause. I think her last thing she did, which made big news, was calling out, I forget the name of the show, where a racist judge has said something racist. And she called the judge out on, the panel of the show. I believe it was American Idol or America's Got Talent, something like that. Let me see right quick. Yeah, it was America's Got Talent. Somebody had said something slick, something racist and slick, and she called him out on it. And, she just always has moments like that in her career where she's speaking on it and speaking on it unapologetically. Very good visual representation of Sister. She's, just naturally beautiful and carries and conducts herself, as a lady. We haven't really never seen no footage of other than, the Bring It On, where she was playing a young high school girl and a cheerleader at that. No ratchetness, just bearing it all to the world and, dropping it low and all that. We ain't never seen that from Gabrielle Union. So, in addition to that, of course, she's an advocate for many things. But definitely that's what I'm highlighting her for, is just mainly our cause, our plight, and just, using her platform for that, for, calling out anything, or anyone moving in or moving with malice or aggression against us and our people. So, I definitely admire her for that. No, she never ever conceded or said she was perfect by any stretch, but in that respect, I respect her that she, opens her mouth for the cause. She don't, shy away like most celebrities. She calls it out and is unapologetic about it. Now, other things, within their marriage, with Dwayne Wade's son and or daughter or whatever the case may be, but other than that though, the main thing that I'm admiring her about is, she uses her platform to, speak on our cause and, is brave and unwavering with it. So she definitely is deserving of the spotlight today here on the Narrative Podcast. So we're going to give a warm round of applause for the sister, Gabrielle Union. Righty. And on to my next section. This section is called the Health and Wellness section. And in the Health and Wellness section, it's just like really, it is what it sounds like. I'm speaking about health and wellness. It's self-explanatory, but I'll explain it anyway. This section is basically to, help my people armor up because we're being attacked mentally, physically, and spiritually. In this section, I'm promoting total body wellness for, my people, original people. Anybody from any religious or ethnic background is free to tune into my podcast, free to listen to it. But all the content on here is directed towards my people. So everything in the health and wellness section, all the health and wellness tips are directed towards my people because we have, a unique cellular structure. They say we're all the same on the inside, and that's just not true. We all have certain dietetic needs. And concern to my people, the sun actually strengthens us. Like our hair gets longer, our skin becomes better the more that we're exposed to sunlight versus other people that peel and flake and become, inflamed when they're exposed to the sun too much. So no, we're not all the same. But anyway, the types of things you will usually hear in this section is, the health benefits about things you would eat to sustain vitality, such as the health benefits of a fruit, vegetable, plant, herb, root, and elixir, things that you can use topically on your skin. Some type of physical exercise you can do to, improve your vitality, or some type of mental exercise that you can improve your mental well-being. Because like I said, we're getting attacked on all fronts, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And I'm giving out tips to, help strengthen yourself in all those areas. So for the spiritual stuff, praying, meditating, mantras, and then also some type of, every once in a blue moon, I'll hit you with something metaphysical. And again, the reason why I'm doing this is because we are the most attacked group of people, health-wise. We got these mad scientists actually cooking up things in the laboratory, putting it in our food, in our air, in the water, and basic, items that we use every day, like soap and deodorant, things that, break down and in some cases destroy, our unique cellular and genetic molecular composition. So, it's an inherent plot to get rid of it, And I've already spoken about, the mental thing, the way they're controlling and manipulating the media to cause mental duress. It's nothing short of psychological warfare. And see, when you're mentally distressed, this causes physical ailments in the body. This causes, your body to shut down when you're carrying mental stress, when you're mentally fatigued. That's why they call most illnesses diseases or dis-ease. They happen when your mind is at dis-ease, and they manifest into physical ailments. And the physical ailments they usually take on in our community is like arthritis, gout, type 1 or type 2 diabetes, hypertension, blood pressure. But in the health and wellness section, I'm just, sharing little nuggets to keep you, fortified and keep your immune system strong so you'd be less susceptible to contract, airborne bugs and other things. So to keep your mind, body, and spirit strong. That's what I'm doing in this section. And without further ado, today's health and wellness tip is actually a PSA. This is the dangers of, touching your face. So what you want to do, especially around this time of year, is to definitely, if you can practice, preventative maintenance when you're out in public or when you're out or when you're at home. Try not to touch your face so much because as everybody knows, you absorb a lot of things through your epidermal layer. So if, an airborne virus is floating around, you're more susceptible to get it through your epidermal layer. Your hands are filthy, covered in germs. So try not to avoid touching your face. And it's a nervous habit. People often stroke their chin, rub their forehead. Some people play with their cheeks. I'm talking about facial cheeks, nasty people. Touch your nose, scratch your nose, play with your earlobes. Like, just avoid touching your face altogether if you can. And, that'll help with the, cut down the accumulation of germs. Because, you touch things, at home. And when you're out and about, you're always touching something. So I know you don't wash your hands every single time, or don't have the opportunity to wash your hands every single time you touch something. So if you do, you're like super OCD. Like, it's almost impossible to wash your hands every time you touch something. And then even when you wash your hands, you're only cutting the germs by 1/3. So keep that in mind. So, the PSA, just cut back on the face touching thing. Try to create the healthy habit of not touching your face so much. And you'll probably be, a lot more healthy. You'll be less susceptible into contracting something airborne or feeling the effects of, whatever's floating around in the air that's not good. So that's it, the health and wellness tip for today. And on to my next section is my speaking point of the day. And my speaking point of the day is a section where I cover current events, something that's currently trending in the news. And I unpack it from our perspective, my people's perspective, on whatever's trending in the news, whatever is currently going on in the news. And sometimes in the rare event that I can't think of anything, that's, breaking news or something, pertaining to us, or if I don't feel anything's noteworthy, I'll just do a PSA about us, observation, that I've noticed that we do and we should probably stop as a people. And by we, I mean me as well. But today I actually do have a speaking point, something current news. There's something that's still breaking news, something still unfolding. It has like onion layers of depth. But I will be unpacking it from the narrative podcast perspective. And the narrative podcast perspective is, changing the narrative, one episode, changing the narrative about how we're being perceived by the media. But again, I don't think I never really finished about what the section is about. If you're still like aloof, basically in this section, what I'm doing is I'm controlling the narrative, because the media will have us looking and sounding all kinds of crazy. So yeah, that's what I'm doing in this section. And today I do have a speaking point occurrence, breaking news, commentary that I want to, touch on. So unless you've been living under the rock, a Tennessee man was beaten to death by law enforcement, Tariq Nichols. And it's been trending everywhere ever since it happened. And, everybody been putting their spin on it. And today it's my turn to put my spin on it. So, like, everybody's up in arms about what happened. It was a definitely abuse of power. Some people are saying now, some new evidence is saying, came out, what spawned the attack to begin with is one of the officers was jealous of Nichols because, Nichols was, messing with his girlfriend. Some new news coming out. I don't know how much truth it is to it. I can't confirm it nor deny it. Nothing's been confirmed nor denied that that's the definitive reason which led to the attack, which ultimately killed Nichols. But I do want to take a quick sidebar. So he didn't instantaneously die. He died a couple days after he got beaten. He got beaten so bad that he got, hospitalized. So he didn't die on the spot. But to my point, people that like fist fighting in public, our brothers, because we like doing that. We think that's manhood, squaring up in public and getting it in. I mean, it's definitely masculine. That's how we solve our problems and vent. But there's a consequence to it, because you can hit somebody and kill them too, because you don't know what their internal organs is like, what their medical history is like. So that's why another reason why you must always be emotionally intelligent and control your emotions at all times, because it could be like life or death. This system is designed to put us in jail. So let's not make their jobs easy for them. Let's use our heads out there. If we can de-escalate a situation, let's de-escalate it. If you can walk away, walk away. If honor doesn't demand it, let it go. If they don't put you in a situation where you do have to, handle that business, but, I'm just saying, my point was, you can't kill somebody by fist fight. You don't have to have a gun to kill somebody. You can hit somebody really hard and kill them. Oh, excuse me. Uh-oh. Oh no. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Am I getting static? Check 1 2. Sorry for the static. I was reaching for something. All right. But anyway, I'm going to be unpacking this, and what this means for us as a people, because the powers that be, they love pulling the okie doke. And this whole situation is the okie doke. Okay, let's start at the very top. The police officers that beat Nichols, they came from a unit titled the Scorpion Unit. Okay, the Scorpion Unit. And then the way they beat him was reminiscent of a gang initiation. Just let that resonate. Just take that in. Because we already know law enforcement, they're already a gang. But the way they beat him, it was like we was watching a gang initiation. There was, they were stomping him out. Visually, we got that visual. Okay. So now you got that. And I'm going somewhere with this, trust me. So body cam footage was released immediately. The instant Nichols died, an arrest was called for all officers involved. All officers have been arrested and charged with the beating death. And now everybody's like on social media, yes, yes, yes. You know, they got them scumbags, they got them dirtbags. And rightfully so. You know, you kill somebody. Hello, right back. I just had to pause for the cross right quick. But what I was saying to my point, they got arrested instantly. Their faces was plastered all up and down social media. You know, the Nichols family feels like they can breathe somewhat. I mean, their loved ones gone, but they feel, some type of vindicated that the person that had the most involvement with it is, incarcerated and waiting on the judgment day. You see how quickly that happened? Did anybody take the time to see how quickly that happened? When it's one of us. You see, it's only justice when we kill each other. It's only justice when we commit crimes against one another, because one is dead and the other's in jail. Because did we have an instantaneous conviction, arrest and a conviction for, George Floyd? Do we have an instant arrest for Ahmaud Arbery? Do we have an instant arrest for Mike Brown? Do we have an instant arrest for Philando Castile? Do we have an instant arrest for Eric Garner? People who we've all seen video footage of it online, circulating all over the world. It was not no instantaneous detention of, officers involved. But it was some black officers involved, instantaneously corralled, locked up, persecuted to the full extent of the law. And then the whole time, how usually you hear from Caucasians when a white police officer kills someone black, the first thing you hear is, what did they do? They must have did something. No police officer kills somebody for nothing. They're just doing their job. But when some black officers kill one of their own, what do we hear from white people? Nothing. They're not saying nothing. They're not even coming, hopping on the bandwagon for police corruption. They're not saying nothing. They don't care at all. They only care when it's a white police officer in question, with taking one of our lives, with brutalizing one of us. Then we hear all the chitter chatter from white America. Then it's the all lives matter, or they was just doing their job. They was doing what they was trained to do. Well, if he wasn't resisting, the officer wouldn't have did that. Do you see the double standard here? And so, yes, my people, yes, we do need to take accountability for our in-house issues. No, we cannot always blame the system for every single thing in our lives. Yes, at some point, we have to take accountability for our actions as a full-grown adult man or woman. But then also, in instances, especially like this, we shouldn't be so quick to offer up that we got to do better. Because in instances like this, our people so quick to say, we have to do better. Now let's look again at the bigger picture. It's black officers that killed a black man. Where did the black officers receive their training? They received it at a white police academy. They learned how to identify criminals based upon, their training. And then going back further, where did the police force really originated from? Police force originated from the slave times. It was originally the slave patrol. And so, like many things in this country, it's a learned behavior when we act out in ways of aggression against one another. It's a learned behavior. We are indoctrinated into many things. We take on the characteristics of the people that oppress us. We didn't naturally start doing these things to each other. We got indoctrinated. We got programmed and conditioned to view each other like this, to treat each other like this. So while justice is being served, let's not get carried away and say, we got to do better. Let's not do that. Let's be supportive for the family as possible. If you got the resources to donate something to the family, definitely check out whatever is available online and make your contribution. If you want to go to Tennessee and speak out against, police corruption, definitely do that. But don't just offer up the we got to do better on your platforms on social media. Don't be so quick to offer that up. We have to do better. Because yes, we do have our own in-house issues, and yes, we do have to do better in areas. But we don't need to make that publicly known that we have to do better. Because you will never hear an Asian community, if an Asian man kills another Asian man, you won't hear the whole community say, we have to do better. If an Irish man kills another Irish man, you will never hear the whole Irish community say, we have to do better. If a Jewish man kills another Jewish man, you'll never hear the entire Jewish community say, we have to do better. It's only in our community that we say we have to do better when one of us kills the other, and then we already have the knowledge of where we even got that mentality to kill each other from, and we offer that up. You understand? So, there was just another shooting death. A policeman just shot a paraplegic man, prosthetic legs, shot and killed him at point blank range. Let's see how instantaneous the arrest will be. Let's see how instantaneous the conviction will be. I doubt it. I doubt the arrest will be instantaneous. I doubt the conviction will be instantaneous. But when a black man killed another black man, arrest was instantaneous and conviction is sure. There's already a 90% chance he's going to get convicted already. They ain't even had a trial yet, and we know he's going to jail. Nothing's going to save him. They're going to entomb him in jail. They're going to drop the jail on top of him. Well, I think I hit my point. That's my speaking point of the day. Just soak that in, let it marinate. Let's not be so quick to always say we have to do better. And my speaking point of the day, / final word. Because sometimes it's just a word or a sentiment. But In this section, what I'm doing is just saying something profound, something that will inspire critical thinking, something, deep, make you be like, I never thought about it like that, or wow, that's deep. So today's final thought or final word is intentional. Now, it's a real popular phrase these days, especially in the, people into, manifesting. Be intentional with your thoughts, be intentional with your speech pattern. But something people kind of skip over and glaze over is to identify your intentions. What are your intentions? You got to be intentional with your intentions, with like defining and finding out what your intentions are. You got to research your intentions. Because if because like often people say when somebody does something bad or messes something up, well, he meant well, he or she meant well. They had good intentions, when something goes left. You know what I mean? But your intentions have to align up with your purpose or your path. You can't have negative, foul intentions and think it's going to turn out well. You can't, have malice or vindication in your heart and think it's going to line up with your path. Your path always got to be clear and right and just for, to manifest something. Because you might mess around and manifest, whatever goal you're trying to manifest. You might get that big house. You might get that salary increase, that large quantity of money that you're thinking about. I'm thinking about your financial wealth goals, manifesting your financial wealth goals. You might get that person that you want to be with in your relationship. You might get them. But see, here's the gotcha. If your intentions are foul, you're going to become a prisoner to whatever you attracted. You're going to be a prisoner to that money. You're going to be a prisoner to that relationship. You're going to be a prisoner to, whatever you tried to get if you, intended on something foul. If you lied, connived, stole, stepped over people to get what you wanted, backstab people, threw people under the bus to solidify your position. It's not going to work out. It's going to go all bad for you eventually. So you might, get it on. You might be able to get up there and have Learjet money, helicopter money, cabin cruiser money. But if your intentions was all bad in acquiring the things that you was trying to manifest, it's only a matter of time before you're undone by your intentions. So you always got to tap in and do your intentions checking. You have to write your goals. What do I want? And then you have to make sure your intentions are there. Is it pure? Is it benefiting someone other than myself? Do I have love behind it? Do I have love behind it, or do I got the spirit of revenge behind it? Because some people, they hustle and grind just to, I try not to cuss on here, but to make my point, they just grind and hustle to shit on other people. Is that your motivation to do it so you can shit on other people? So you just always have to make sure your intentions align up with your destiny, that everything's, in the right place, that your heart is, right, that you can go to sleep at night, that you're not, ashamed of the things you're doing to get on your path. And that's how you know you're on the right path. You're going to always come up against adversity. Things are going to happen. Unforeseen things are going to happen. But if you play dirty pool, if you reduce yourself to playing dirty pool to get results, your intentions aren't admirable. If you get to compromising your morals, compromising your character and your demeanor to pursue the things, you'll probably get the things, but you will receive no happiness, no reciprocation. You will literally be sitting up in that big old house that you got all by yourself. Because everybody that comes through them doors, they're not going to be there for you. They're going to be there for the house. They're going to be there for the things that you can do. They're going to be wanting to sit up there and just be up in your little private movie theater, on your estate, in the guest house. They're not going to be there for you. They're going to be there for the things you can do for them. So when you get all that money, all the people up underneath you ain't there for you. They're there for what you can do for them. How much money can you give them? If we're talking relationship-wise, you might manifest the person you think you want to be with, the person you think you want to date, the person you think you want to, marry. You might actually marry the person. But if your intentions, if you didn't have good intentions when you did it, you're going to be in the house of lies. It's going to be one problem after another. They're going to be the bane of your existence. And you can't divorce them because, dang, it's cheaper just to keep them. So just my final thought of the day is make sure your intentions are pure. If your intentions are pure, nothing can't go wrong. And you will know when your intentions are pure because the way it aligns up, it feels good. It feels right. You ain't got to constantly pray for it. You ain't got to constantly fight for it. It fits. It fits. It feels good. It feels right. You don't feel squeamish. You don't feel like you got to watch over your shoulder all the time. And pinch yourself to make sure it's real. Is this really happening? Is this really mine? So make sure your intentions align up with your destiny. I'm Halsey Allen, and that was my final thought of the day, and thus concludes another full episode of the Narrative Podcast. Thank you for listening. I know you're going to tune in next week for another full episode of the Narrative Podcast. I look forward to you joining me again. I also go live during the weekday on a random live broadcast to avoid missing me. To avoid not missing me on a random live broadcast, you can follow my YouTube channel, Halsey Allen on YouTube, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell, and you will not miss because it transmits directly to my YouTube. It also transmits to my Twitter, so Halsey Allen on Twitter, and you will never miss me when I'm live on YouTube or Twitter. And then please make sure you download this episode and our previously recorded episodes of the Narrative Podcast to help me expand and keep growing my platform. I believe this is episode 180. And then also go online and go to the bookstore on Poetizer and purchase a copy of my book titled The Black Card. It's good 30-page read, very inspirational and motivational poems. You will love it very much. Go on and get that copy today. And then also make sure you support my personal poetry blog titled Halsey's Poetry Corner. The email address is www.mrhalseysvlogs.com, and the way you support that is by going to Halsey's Poetry Corner and sharing Halsey's Poetry Corner poems on all your platforms, on your YouTube, on your Twitter, on your Tumblr, etc., etc., etc. Anywhere you got a digital platform, share one of my poems from Halsey's Poetry Corner to it. So yeah, that's it and that's all, y'all. Thank you for listening. Check me out again next weekend. We're gonna keep it pumping and jumping, but for today, I'm out of here like last year. Halsey Allen and the Narrative Podcast signing off. I'm changing the narrative one episode at a time, and I'm encouraging you to change the narrative one post at a time. Till next time, Halsey Allen, Narrative Podcast, signing off. And it's like that.
With Halsey Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a time.
Set your place on fire. Put a little bit of shit, put a little bit of shit, get a little bit of gasoline. Put a little bit of shit,